Good morning, beautiful mamas. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nikki. For those of you who haven't seen my other videos, I am a mama to a 9-month-old baby boy who unfortunately isn't here right now. He is on his way to his auntie's because I have to go to work. He usually is right next to me doing these videos with me, which I love. It just brightens up the video a little bit better. But today's video, I am going to talk about epidural versus no epidural. So I can't really tell you that I had a 100% natural birth, but I can also say that I didn't have 100% epidural either. So if you did watch my labor and delivery story, then you did know that towards the end of my labor, the epidural had worn off right before I went to deliver my son. And I also had epidural for that 40 plus hours of labor itself, but I had to have an anesthesiologist come in and top it off about every 2 hours because it wears away. It does not last that long, and then you completely feel everything. So I did have some people ask me, are you going to use epidural next delivery since you basically know what it feels like to have it and to not have it? Hell yeah, I'm getting that epidural. I do not care. I know some mamas out there are completely against all medications, and that is fine. That's 100% okay. That's healthy. That's normal. Go for it. Me, on the other hand, my pain tolerance is through the roof. Any little pinch of pain and I bawl like a baby. So I can't handle that pain. So there is a 100% chance I will most definitely use epidural again. I do know what it feels like to have a child without that feeling of the epidural. When it came time to deliver my child, I had already had that epidural gone for a good hour or so before the anesthesiologist was able to come in. And at that point, the doctor was in letting me know that you're at a 10 and you're ready to push. I pause and I'm like, no, give me some epidural because I feel this back labor. I feel the cramping, I feel the pain. I feel like he's pushing his way out on his own. And that is the most uncomfortable feeling in the whole entire world. Oh my God, it just feels like you're gonna like literally poop on the table. I'm sorry, but it feels like you're gonna poop on the table and you're trying your hardest to hold it in, but you can't because that's the baby coming. So that's an uncomfortable feeling, let alone that pressure of everything inside of you being pushed down so that baby can push his way through, his or her way through. And it's a terrible feeling. Back labor, one of the most horrific pains there is. That pressure, again, that's in your back, and it just literally feels like someone is pushing down while you're trying to stand up, but it's like a shooting pain at the same time, and it almost feels like you can't breathe. It almost feels like you don't want to breathe. So all of that started to come back at that last hour before I was about to push. So I was sitting there trying to press my button, and I'm like, okay, come on, I need to top it off. As I'm like bawling, I'm like, I can't do this. So then I call and I'm like, the anesthesiologist needs to come in, and then the doctor comes in and says, you're a 10, let's go, get ready to push. Well, I'm tired, so tired, and I'm still pushing, but I have no epidural in my body anymore. It has completely worn off. I can feel my stomach, I can feel my back, I can feel the cramps, the pain, the pressure. I feel my legs, I feel how sore my legs are from all the positions I needed to be in. I felt that tenderness of them moving things around down there to try and get the baby. I could feel them stretching me. I could feel every little thing that they were doing, and it was miserable, which made it that much harder for me to push my son out. So, but they still said no epidural. If we give you an epidural now, you're going to be too numb. You're not going to be able to push, which is understandable. But, I mean, I almost wish that I was so numb so that way it was easier for me to push, because then my legs could just be stuck on the table. They wanted my legs to be in a certain position, but my legs were so sore and so tender from just that long labor and how I had to have my legs. And then like that first few hours of pushing, I was just, at that point, it was almost like I couldn't handle it anymore and I needed to be numb. I almost feel like it would have been a lot easier for my delivery if I was a little bit more numb than I was. Another thing is once I had the baby, then I'm sure everybody, I've heard you feel that baby come out. It's like instant relief once the shoulders come out. That's not for me. I mean, yeah, it felt wonderful once the baby came out, but then the aftermath when she pushes on your stomach to try and remove that placenta, that feeling, let me tell you, that feeling sucked too. After all of the labor and the pushing, how tender and sore you are, and then they go and put pressure like, to try and push that placenta out. Literally, I almost thought that felt worse too. After delivery, that almost felt worse than delivery, to be honest. I was like yelling at her. I was like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, I thought the baby was already out. And she's like, you need to get the placenta out. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, please be done. So before we were able to push the placenta out, me being the baby that I am and the hell that I went through, the anesthesiologist needed to come in like as soon as possible. And I was like, give me epidural. I don't even care. Just give me epidural. I need the epidural for the stitches. I need the epidural for the placenta. I just want to be numb for the next few hours because I couldn't handle it anymore. I think I was just in so much pain and I had so much pressure and everything was just so long that my body rejected everything. Like, it rejected everything. So they came in, they gave me a little bit more epidural, which was wonderful, and that lasted about 2 hours, so they were able to remove the placenta with no problems. I did not feel a thing, which made it 10 times better, more comfortable. And then I did tear. So I had a 2nd degree tear. So, ouch, yeah. So they had to stitch me up. And she tried to go and stitch me up after, and I'm like, dude, I was like, you guys just kind of go at it, don't you? And so that made it more comfortable now that I had the epidural too. So I kind of paused there for a little bit. But if I had to have a choice of epidural or no epidural, I am always going to 100% go with epidural. It just makes your whole labor and delivery experience 10 times better. I know there are a ton of moms out there that are completely against medication, and that's okay, because when I was going to have my child, I said, I'm going to have my child natural. I don't believe in medications. I don't like medication. A lot of things that me and my family like to do for my son is home remedies. I like to make things by myself. I like to look things up that are natural ways for healing and making things a lot more comfortable. I don't like to put so much medicine down my son's throat. I don't like all of the chemicals that is in half the things in this world nowadays. So I was like, no epidural for my labor and delivery. I said that I was just going to do natural. Okay, well, you know what? Things happen. Pain happens. Discomfort happens. And sometimes you just kind of have to, some people can tough it out, but then there's me, who is a big fat wuss, and I couldn't tough it out anymore. It was just making my labor and delivery experience that much worse, and I don't want to do that because I plan on having way more kids than just the one that I have. So in order for me to make myself feel more comfortable, the epidural is exactly what I chose, and I would choose it all over again. So epidural, no epidural? Epidural.